From News Nation headquarters, this is News Nation Prime.
Trump and Zelensky 2.0. And you're looking live at the White House tonight. We just learned Zelensky is officially on the ground in D.C. right now. And hours from now, he will be flanked by top European allies. He will walk into what may be the highest pressure meeting of his presidency. President Trump pushing hard for an end to the war, and he's made it clear peace will require concessions from both sides. For the political side of these conversations, we're welcoming in our panel tonight. We have Republican strategist Matt Klink and A. Scott Bolden, News Nation political contributor, former chair of the D.C. Democratic Party. Gentlemen, it is always such a pleasure to have you both on, both of your perspectives. Scott, let's start with you. Tomorrow's meeting with Zelensky, nearly 6 months after his last White House visit went so off the rails, so awry, turned into a shouting match. It was hard to watch. What are you looking for this time around? How do we avoid a repeat of any of that?
Well, the juxtaposition of Donald Trump, how he treated Putin with the red carpet and how he's treated Zelensky, clearly shows that Donald Trump believes or has been convinced by Putin that a land swap is important, that a ceasefire versus a peace settlement, that the peace settlement is there. There's still no sanctions against Russia. So if I'm Putin, I'm feeling really good about that meeting, but more importantly, I'm feeling good about the meeting with Zelensky and Donald Trump. Now, the buffer there is going to be the European leaders, and to reward Putin for land that he's taken through aggression just seems to just be inappropriate at the least. And yet Zelensky is willing to give up some land in exchange for security guarantees. How strong are those security guarantees? What are each of these countries committing to, whether it's Trump in office or anyone else? Are you talking about putting boots on the ground there as like a security force from each of these countries? I'd want as much security as I could if I'm Zelensky. And then remember, the other factor is you cannot trust Putin under any circumstances. And so you got to cross your T's, dot your I's, and make Putin do what you want him to do, because right now there's not a lot of pressure on Putin to say yes, even after a successful meeting with Donald Trump, at least in the view of those the Russia team.
Well, Scott, you say something so interesting here, and Matt, I want to bring you in because we see the red carpet being rolled out for Putin, and then just in the last hour, we see Trump posting on Truth Social ahead of this meeting with Zelensky. He says, quote, President Zelensky of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. What is the difference in tone that we're seeing ahead of the meetings with these two world leaders?
Yeah.
Well, I think, look, comparing a meeting with Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, to the president of Ukraine are two entirely different things. And you saw on the global stage, you have two of the world's great superpowers meeting in an American military base. And I think that had all of the pomp and circumstances. And I think that, look, as you're showing them right now walking on that red carpet, what I hope you will also show is the B-2 flyover and both Putin and Trump looking up. Putin doesn't have those. So, I mean, look, I know Scott is saying that wouldn't it be great if Putin would give up the land? I mean, look, Russia has held the Crimea since Barack Obama was president in 2014. They've held roughly 20% of the eastern part of Ukraine, the oblasts of Donbass and Litovsk. There's no way he's going to give those back. And unless the U.S. is committed to fund hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in military power, maybe that would happen. But the Ukrainians don't have the manpower to beat them. So, I mean, look, the bottom line is that Russia is going to prosper from this. It is terrible and it is horrible, but unfortunately, that's geopolitics in that part of the world. They've been fighting like this for over 600 years. So it is what it is. And America, we might be able to provide weaponry and economic assistance, but we should not have an American security guarantee. Let Europe step up for a change.
Scott, this is fascinating. Let's bring you in on this point. I mean, do you think that there should be a security guarantee, that we should come to their aid if Putin breaks his promise?
Well, of course we are. And there's a big difference between Putin and Zelensky. Putin is a butcher. He kills his enemies, and he's invaded a sovereign country. And our policy right now under Donald Trump is essentially rewarding him by rolling the red carpet out for someone who has arrest warrants out for him, who cannot travel because of the ICC warrants, because of his killing of hundreds of thousands of people in Ukraine. There is an important juxtaposition, and yes, we need security blanket from the European countries. And by the way, to my colleague, U.S. isn't protecting Ukraine anymore. We're selling weapons to Europe, which delays those weapons for them to continue to fight. This country, U.S., used to stand for freedom, justice, and equality and be a leading democracy. We would never reward Russia for this naked aggression. And yet, and still, essentially, what my colleague is saying and what Donald Trump is saying, well, what's happened has happened, and we don't like the naked aggression, but he's got
and the irony
so take the deal that I negotiated for you. Let me finish. Let me finish this because you know I'm right about this.
We're actually totally out of time. But Matt, I do want to give you the final word, final 10 seconds here.
Yeah. I mean, look, the democratic policy on Ukraine is the same as the European policy on Ukraine, just pouring money down a rat hole and this war never ending. Look, the Ukrainians, they can't keep this up. You had your time, Scott. The Ukrainians can't keep this up. Donald Trump is going to get this thing resolved. He's going to end the killing. That's what the Democrats don't like, because the orange man is bad under all circumstances to the Democrats. Donald Trump is going to get it done, and the Democrats and the weaklings and Europeans can't do it. Only Donald Trump can.
Gentlemen, I regret we are out of time, but Matt Klink, Scott Bolden, thank you both.
You're just wrong about that. You're rewarding a dictator, a brutal killing dictator, and you know it. You can wave at me all you want, but that's not the American values, and you know that.
All right.
Oh, come on,
thank you very much.